I'm disrespectful just as like they disrespectful.
You pretend like you hard, but you're not, Ja. You got a $200 million contract, and you want people in the NBA to think you hood, to think you gangster, because you roll with these type of people, bro. You putting yourself in harm's way when you don't have to. Nobody looks at you, Ja, and think, man, that's a thug. He hood.
Dylan Brooks was having words with Shannon Sharpe, Hall of Famer and broadcast. And you see Steven Adams comes over to protect his guy along with the supporting cast, and then
the drama between Ja Morant's camp and Shannon Sharpe is back in the spotlight. It all kicked off again after Ja Morant slammed Shannon for being a hypocrite when he criticized Tyrese Haliburton's dad. Here's what went down. After Game 5 of the first-round playoff series, Haliburton's father got into a heated exchange with Giannis. Shannon Sharpe publicly called out Haliburton's dad, saying he was out of line and disrespectful, but Jay wasn't having it. He fired back, saying Shannon had no business criticizing anyone's behavior, especially considering Shannon once tried to fight Jay's entire team and his own dad during a courtside altercation. Shannon attempted to defend himself, claiming he technically wasn't on the court when things got heated with the Grizzlies and Jay's dad. Still, fans quickly called him out, accusing him of being out of pocket for trying to lecture others on sportsmanship and self-control. The criticism got even louder given Shannon's recent controversy involving a 19-year-old OnlyFans model who's now suing him for $50 million. So, what exactly did Jay say about Shannon's comments on Haliburton's dad? Is Shannon being a hypocrite, or does he actually have a point? Let's break it all down.
Look, if he wants to wave the towel, he's on the sideline, fine, so be it. But when you come on into that playing area, it's like when you run on the football field. Back in the day, they used to run the football field.
It looks like Tyrese Haliburton's father, John Haliburton, won't be attending any Pacers games for the foreseeable future. Following a conversation among the Pacers front office, the team decided it would be best for John to take a step back for a while. A team representative told ESPN that the decision was made internally and that John was understanding and agreed to the arrangement. This all comes in the wake of that heated altercation between him and Giannis Antetokounmpo after Game 5 of the Pacers-Bucks playoff series on April 29th.
That is right up there with him. The 8-0 run occurred, Greg, in the last 35 seconds.
Giannis later addressed the incident, saying he felt Tyrese's dad was being disrespectful during the game. It happened as the Pacers were celebrating a big moment. Tyrese had just hit a clutch layup with 1.3 seconds left in overtime to secure the win. According to Giannis, that's when Tyrese's father came at him, waving a towel and yelling profanities right there on the court.
Nothing. This is the last time I'm going to say. I won't talk a lot. We lost the game. It doesn't really matter. One thing I'll say is that I believe like being humble in victory. That's how I am. Now there can be a lot of people out there that are like, no, when you win the game, you gotta talk shit, and it's a green light for you to be disrespectful towards somebody else. I disagree. I've won the championship. They haven't. Okay, and that doesn't say anything. I'm not trying to minimize their effort, but I remember when I won, my mom that she's never missed the games from February 11th or 13th when she came in Milwaukee against the Knicks. She never missed a game. When we won the championship, I remember my mom, she was scared to cross. She was like, am I allowed to come and hug my son? I see, except now my brother does media. For this year, he wants to come back and play. But like, except in that, you've never seen my family like see courtside. See, this is not something that we do. We don't. I try to keep my family away from the game. But losing the game, emotions run high. Having a fan, which at the moment I thought he was a fan, but then I realized it was Tyrese's son, which I love. Tyrese, I think he's a great competitor. He was his dad, sorry. Coming in the floor and showing me his son a towel with his face. This is what we do. This is what we effing do. This the F we do. This. I feel like that's very, very disrespectful.
John Haliburton took serious heat for the blow-up, then hopped on social to set things straight. Big apology to Giannis, the Bucks, and the entire Pacers fam for how I acted after the game. That wasn't a good look for the sport or my son. Won't happen again. Tyrese later admitted he didn't even know about the clash until he got back to the locker room, then agreed dad was in the wrong. But Shannon Sharpe wasn't done. On his Nightcap podcast, he lit into Ja Haliburton one more time, even questioning how genuine that apology really was.
Got into an altercation with the Grizzlies, but my ass was on the sideline. I'm not excusing it. So chat, I'm not excusing my behavior. So I'm just saying, I think, look, if he wants to wave the towel, he's on the sideline, fine, so be it. But when you come on into that playing area, it's like when you run on the football field. Back in the day, they used to run the football field. Players tackle the hell out you.
Right.
Yeah.
His father. I sincerely apologize to Giannis, the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Pacers organization for my actions following tonight's game. This is not a good reflection of our sport or my son, and I will not make that mistake again. Back in the 80s or 90s, I don't know if one of them players would have let that slide.
They be throwing them off dunk.
They just want go pop because I'm not so sure, because Giannis said he thought it was a fan at first, and then he realized that it was Giannis's dad. It was Tyrese's dad. Man, look, back in those days, man, look, you getting the guy face like them guys be doing now and want to be doing all this. Man, them guys didn't play like that, man.
Yeah.
But Ja Morant's fans were quick to call out Shannon Sharpe, saying he might not be the best person to deliver that message. They brought up the infamous moment when Shannon tried to fight Jay's dad during a game, reminding everyone that his own behavior hasn't exactly been spotless. This came after Ryan Clark publicly said that Tyrese Haliburton's dad should be banned from all NBA games, but fans weren't buying the double standard. One tweeted, "So, Tyrese Haliburton's dad waves a towel and steps on the court after his son hits a game winner, and he's banned?" Meanwhile, Shannon Sharpe tries to fight the entire Grizzlies team and Jay's dad courtside, and he's just fine. Another chimed in with a sharper take. Shannon Sharpe is out here in his 50s starting fights at NBA games, linking up with OnlyFans models, and having not one, but 2 explicit videos leaked, yet he still gets on national TV and lectures 20-somethings like Ja Morant about maturity with a straight face. Oh, and speaking of Ja, Shannon recently came for him again, criticizing his finger gun celebration. Last month, Ja caught heat from the league after making a gun gesture toward the Warriors bench during a game against Golden State.
Any concern that Ja hasn't learned his lesson yet?
I mean, he's learned his lesson. He ain't been caught on film holding a gun.
Well, I know this sounds crazy. This might sound crazy to y'all. But what if this nigga's really gangster? What if he can't stop?
I don't know how many gangsters are that rich.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many gangsters lost $50 million doing non-gangster shit. It's just, there's just certain things you can't do if you're Ja. Same thing, with me. There's just certain gestures you just can't do.
Yeah, but you see Draymond talking to the ref, he just did this.
Yeah, I did. That's crazy.
A lot of people have been calling Jay immature or accusing him of trying too hard to act tough, and honestly, it's not coming out of nowhere. Over the last year or two, he's made some questionable choices that have left fans and even other players giving him the side eye. It really kicked off when Ja flashed a gun on Instagram Live while at a strip club in Denver right after a game. That incident alone got him suspended and dragged all over social media. At the time, he said he was working on himself, trying to learn better ways to cope with stress. But not long after, he did it again. This time, it was on IG Live in a car with his friends. That second stunt had people wondering, is he just reckless, not thinking things through? Or is he trying to force this tough guy image for clout? Fans started saying he looked more like he was chasing a rapper lifestyle than focusing on being a professional athlete. And it's hard to take him seriously when it feels like he's more interested in proving he's street than recognizing he's a multimillionaire with a massive career in front of him. It didn't help that his off-court presence, his social media posts, the way he talks, his whole vibe, started feeling like a persona, like he was trying to be someone he's not. And that disconnect, it's why a lot of people just aren't buying it anymore.
Hey, I told y'all. How you feeling? I told y'all. How you feeling, bro? I was saving it. I was saving it.
And then there's the on-court behavior. Ja's been acting super cocky during games, talking trash, throwing up gun gestures, taunting opposing benches, you name it. There was even a moment where D'Angelo Russell had to literally move out of the way to avoid what could have been a serious collision. But beyond Ja himself, a lot of people also point to the crowd he keeps around him. His dad, Ja Morant, is almost always courtside, sometimes getting into heated arguments or trying to be part of the spotlight. He even got tossed from a game once after going off on the refs.
And really, for the majority of this game, dominated by leading by double digits, led by as many as 28 points. And there's a stoppage. You see security patrolling the sidelines. A lot of fans have already started to hit the exits here in FedEx Forum. And they might need to escort somebody out as they're having a conversation with a fan sitting courtside.
That's actually Ja Morant's father.
Now let's talk about that altercation between Ja Morant's dad and Shannon Sharpe during a Lakers versus Grizzlies game back in January 2023. It all kicked off when Shannon, who's a huge LeBron fan, told Grizzlies forward Dillon Brooks that he was too small to guard LeBron. Brooks fired back with some profanity, and Shannon didn't back down. Things quickly escalated, and before long, Ja Morant, Steven Adams, and even Jay's dad jumped in, leading to a full-blown shouting match that had to be broken up by security. Surprisingly, a lot of fans actually sided with Shannon at the time. He later explained that he was just standing his ground and defending his opinion, but he also admitted that it was one of the low points of his life, and said he regretted how it all went down. Fast forward to now, and that incident has resurfaced, especially after Shannon publicly criticized Tyrese Haliburton's father for his behavior. And let's just say, fans were quick to call out the hypocrisy. Some argued that neither Shannon nor Jay's camp really have room to talk. To make things even messier, people started dragging Shannon again for his whole situation with the OnlyFans model, saying stuff like, "I know Shannon Sharpe isn't out here judging people's decision-making." Others clapped back in defense of Haliburton's dad, saying, "So it's okay for Unc to stand up for LeBron, but Tyrese's dad can't stand up for his own son." So what do you think about all this drama between Haliburton's dad and Giannis? Was Shannon right to call him out? Or was it kind of wild coming from him of all people? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't miss the next video. We're just getting started.